Though I walk through the valleys of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 3, recognitions and public presentations. We do have one presentation. It's a proclamation recognizing May 15th through the 21st of 2022 as National Public Works Week. The proclamation reads as follows. A proclamation by the Mayor and City Council of Statesboro, Georgia, National Public Works Week proclamation, May 15th through the 21st, 2022. Ready and resilient. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainability and resilient communities, and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of Statesboro. And whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding and improving and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children of the city of Statesboro to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest in understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2022 marks the 62nd annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association, be it now. Resolved, I, Jonathan McCullough, Mayor of the City of Statesboro, do hereby designate the week of May 15th through the 21st, 2020 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association, and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause to be affixed the seal of the city of Statesboro on this 17th day of May 2022. Marcos? Marcos, you want to keep your voice down. I'll try. Good deal. It's time to do what Lane's saying. Yes, you in the back.
All right, so then like Alec, you're taking it. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right, we'll move down to agenda item 4. At this point, the chair will take a point of privilege. I'd like to call Mr. Lehman Franklin to the front. Mr. Franklin, if you will, introduce yourself and tell us why you're so special this evening.
I want to, thank you for the invitation to be here, and Sherry, appreciate making this possible. But my name is Lehman Franklin, and I hope that you all know by now that I'm running for state representative in District 160.
You got a tough candidate.
I know, it's gonna be a tough race, so. But I went around to all the city councils in the district. I want to introduce myself to you guys, and I know all y'all. So, but I want to let you know that you can call me anytime. I want to give my phone number out if possible. It's 912-531-0415.
All right.
Yeah. So anybody needs to call me anytime. But if you want to learn more about me, my platform, all that kind of stuff, it's at lelandfranklin.com. I'm not going to take too much time, but please call me for anything. And I hope to look forward to doing some good things for the city and for the county.
All right, good deal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Absolutely. Now, do you don't have anybody, is a Democrat running against you or anything?
No, nobody's running.
Yeah,
This
so
time.
you just done
This
it,
time.
right?
Who knows about
Yeah,
that?
that's what I was thinking. I was like, I didn't speak too fast, but you about to represent us.
I am.
So, yeah, absolutely. Congratulations.
Hope I do it well. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. All right, take care. And I do recognize that we do have, Mr. Tutt, would you like to come forward to say anything? And introduce yourself. I'm looking through the audience. How you doing?
Hey, I'm fine. Thanks for having me. My name is Preston Tutt. I'm running for County Commissioner in District 1B. I'm running against longtime incumbent Anthony Simmons. What I'm hoping to do is bring some new blood into the machine, see about getting more change in the next 4 years than we've seen in the past 30 or 50 years. If you have any questions, you can reach me through Facebook or my email. It's tuttforbullock@gmail.com, or just visit Preston Tutt for County Commissioner, Bullock County Commissioner, Preston Tutt for Bullock County Commissioner.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Now, are there any other candidates here by any chance? I didn't want to overlook anybody. All right, good deal. Thank you. And I appreciate council allowing me to utilize a point of privilege. We'll go down to agenda item 4. Are there any other public comments?
Not regarding agenda items, no, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move down to agenda item 5, consideration of a motion to approve the consent agenda. Approval of minutes for our May 3rd and May 3rd council and executive sessions. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's move down to agenda item 6, a public hearing and consideration of a motion to approve a packaged distilled spirits location reservation in accordance with City of Statesville Alcohol Ordinance, Chapter 6-12-23-8. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, planning and zoning,
There are no issues, Mayor.
okay. Chief?
No issue, sir.
All right, Kane?
No issues, Mayor.
All right, where's Chief? Okay. All right, is there anyone here that wants to speak for this request? All right, is there anyone here to speak against this request? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion by council? Seeing that there
Wait,
is,
hold on. Who's gonna be the owner of this package store?
this is Gator Package LLC, DBA is Gator Package.
Okay.
What's your name, sir?
Jeff Spencer.
Can you come introduce yourself, please?
Oh, hey, y'all out on.
Sorry.
Yeah, come on, come on, come on.
I'm Jeff Spencer. Here to answer questions or whatever, but just appreciate the consideration and opportunity to continue the success in Statesboro.
Okay, good deal. Thank you. All right. Any further council discussion? All right, seeing that there's none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we move down to agenda item 7, a public hearing and consideration of a motion to approve resolution 20-22-17, a resolution approving the application for a community development block grant to the Georgia Department of Community Affairs and commitment of matching funds. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
All right, Kathy, if you will.
This is, Mr. Mayor, this is an application, it's a competitive application that the city is looking to put into for the Department of Community Affairs for funding. We're eligible for up to $1 million, but there is a 5% matching requirement, which is what you see. we'll certainly give it our best, but as I mentioned, it is a competitive situation, so.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
Kathy, are there additional points for increasing the contribution percentage?
That's, let me ask,
Justin?
Justin is,
Who is right?
oh, there you are, Justin.
I don't believe so on the CTE, Councilman.
Okay. Because sometimes, you know, if you match 10%, you get this many points, 20%, you get this
I
many.
don't believe there is.
Okay.
I think the benefit to us this time around is that we have already established the housing rehabilitation program. And it might help us, hopefully, get this land this month.
All right, thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone here to speak for this or against? Anyone here to speak against? Seeing that there's none, is there a motion to close the hearing?
So,
Is there a second?
second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, any further discussion by council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 8, consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2022-18, a resolution authorizing the destruction of certain municipal records. Mr. Penny, if you'll give us some insight?
Yeah, Mayor and members of the council, we keep a record of records that we have, and as they reach the time period that we can destroy those records, we come to you asking for permission, and that's simply what we're doing. We have a number of records that need to be destroyed, and we're seeking your approval to dispose of those records.
Okay, any discussion by council?
You sure we don't need to keep El Sombrero's first alcohol violation from 2006? Oh, I was just checking. All right.
All right,
Or a bid package that we've had since,
1999?
yeah, we need to get rid of that.
all right, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 9, consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2022-19, a resolution amending the 2019 service delivery strategy agreement with Bullock County. Mr. Penny.
Yeah, Mayor and members of the city council, you've already approved the application for the CDBG grant. However, in order for us to be eligible to actually apply for those funds, we need to amend the SDS agreement so that the housing development, the community development is a part of the SDS agreement. And so the county has initiated the process, and when we initiate an amendment to the process, it has to go through all the communities that are part of the SDS. And so we do recommend your approval of this amendment to the SDS agreement with Bullock County.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. Is there any discussion by council? All right, seeing that there's none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 10, consideration of a motion to approve resolution 2022-20, a resolution to reestablish the Downtown Statesboro Initiative Program. Mr. Penny.
Mayor and members of the council, on February 2nd, 2022, the downtown incentive program expired. And so we've had a number of downtown property owners or business people that have come to us. What it does, it allows people that are doing business or initiating improvements to buildings to waive certain fees. And so what we're recommending to you today is that we re-implement the incentive package and for a 3-year period. And so tonight, if you approve this, we would reinstitute those incentives. I think it could waive up to about $25,000 in fees for someone that's doing a development in the downtown community. And I would just add one more thing. If you're so inclined to approve this, I would also ask you to consider that we've had some people that have actually done some things since February to this point that would amount to about $18,000 that they've expended because it expired, that you would allow us to make it retroactive to February so that we could reimburse them those fees.
Thank you, Mr. Penny. Any discussion by council?
So
Okay.
moved.
All right, is there a motion to approve, with,
Retroactive.
okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we move down to agenda item 10, consideration of a motion to award a contract for digital review software to iWork Systems Incorporated in the amount of $35,000. Mr. Penny.
Hey, man, this is it's a sole source software, and it's to help with our permitting process, and so we recommend that you approve the award of this contract to iWorks. And if you have any questions about it, I'm gonna have to get help from staff to tell you more, but it will help us update our permitting process.
Okay.
In 2022, it's pretty ironic that we have to do everything by paper. During the pandemic, we found it incredibly awkward not to be able to submit plans electronically and things of that nature. We recommend it to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. Any further discussion by council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we'll move down to agenda item 12, consideration of a motion to award a contract to Y Delta Incorporated in the amount of $695,991.09 for the installation of sanitary sewer infrastructure in the Fox Lake subdivision to be paid for with American Rescue Plan Act funds approved in the FY 2022 capital improvement budget item number WWD-32-4. Mr. Penny, can you give us any insight on this?
Mayor, members of the council, you approved the use of our ARPA funds to help install infrastructure as one of the uses of the funds, and this would be the first neighborhood that we would actually do sewer wastewater improvements. We had a meeting with the folks from the neighborhood last week, and they wanted me to tell you they love you. So we would recommend approval of contract with Y Delta.
All right, thank you, Mr. Penny. And is there any further discussion by council? Seeing that there is none, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Way to go, Fox Lake.
30 years after their problem.
I know, right? Right. This council
Maybe more.
delivers. Item 13, other business from city council. Any other business from city council?
I just have a statement.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want you guys to be cognizant of what's going on in Buffalo, New York, and to send up prayers for the families of those who lost individuals. They shouldn't have been lost, but they've lost individuals. So let's just remember that and be sensitive to the needs of those families. So just remember them in your prayers.
Any further business from council?
Yes, Mayor, I wanted to talk about the Southern Lounge and was that in our FYI,
Yes.
that letter?
Yes.
Mr. Penny, would you mind just giving us some detail, or Kane, give us some details on that, and then I'll comment after.
Let Kane do it.
Okay, thank you.
Based on the judgment letter?
Yes, please.
Okay, so a violation hearing came forward. It was not a violation hearing. It's actually based on a motion from the police department, from the police chief, to revoke their license for being a danger to public health and safety. It was their third violation within the look-back period. And Judge Peterson did not revoke their license. Rather, he fined them and gave, I believe it was a cumulative 10-day suspension. I believe it was five weekends that would run through the middle of June, in which they would serve that 10-day suspension on the weekends. And that was under City Ordinance 619, which gives exclusive jurisdiction over those violation hearings to the administrative judge, as written in the ordinance, and said that's where we are with that one.
Okay. All right, thank you, Councilman Boyd.
Well, the reason I bring this up is because just for a brief history lesson, back when Platinum Lounge, which was over by the newspaper, was a concern back in 2011, 2012, one of the problems that we had was that council did not have the authority to revoke these licenses in the case of a public nuisance, right? And in that situation, there was a establishment that went from fighting to shooting, random shots, and then finally someone was stabbed and killed in the parking lot. And then that was when we had to sue to close and everything else. And with the legal process, and at that point, the judge came back to council and said, hey, look, you need to clean up your ordinances. And you guys are responsible for giving these licenses out. And you have the responsibility to revoke them when there's a problem. And as far as I'm concerned, Southern Lounge is now a problem. They say they're operating as a restaurant, but I'm certain, this is from their testimony in the letter, I don't know if you guys read it, but they're open from 12 to 6 p.m. and then from 9 to 1. Now, I don't know what other restaurant closes at dinner time, but that to me is not a restaurant. And they also say they open from Tuesdays at noon, Wednesdays at noon, Thursdays at noon. I can tell you, I work downtown, I walk down to the post office, I walk down to the Black Box. They are not open Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, and certainly not at noon. So, to me, this business is being deceptive, and they are lying to us. I don't care what kind of business you run, but if you're gonna lie to us about what kind of business you run, you do not deserve to have the license, because you're not being honest with the city, and you're creating, anytime we've had situations where we've had proprietors that were dishonest, eventually it led to some kind of problem. This one's a problem, 30 shots downtown. I mean, this is not the only incident. I was down there across the street the night of homecoming, and I saw kids that I saw at homecoming going into that establishment. How do I know? Because the crazy dresses are so unique that there's no way it could have been anyone else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of through with this. I've heard from people that live up above. I'm done with this establishment. I think they no longer deserve to have their license. I'm gonna make a motion to have their license revoked.
Okay. Any discussion from council?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. What are our options legally right now? I mean, they've been to court?
It has been to court, and like I said, in 619, council granted exclusive jurisdiction to the administrative judge to handle these sorts of hearings, whether they be through violation or whether it be subsequent to a suspension through the route which this one was. I would note a provision in the charter, though, regulations for general welfare. This being with, I believe, what Councilman Boyd is recommending is asking for is a resolution in order to go against 619 and to revoke their alcohol license, which is a corollary right contained with the power to grant that license. But Section 4.2 of the city charter, which of course is the document that regulates what is allowed in the ordinance to begin with, says that to carry into effect the powers conferred upon the mayor and council, and for the preservation of peace, good order, temperance, morality, and general welfare of the city and inhabitants thereof, the city council shall have the power and authority to make and pass all needed bylaws, ordinances, resolutions, rules, and regulations not contrary to the Constitution and laws of the state. So that would be an option, would be to do a council resolution to go against what is previously written in Section 619 of the ordinance in compliance with Section 4.2 of the charter, if that is the wish of mayor and council to do so.
Any further discussion by council?
I'd like to make, maybe some type of recommendation to sit down with the owners and have a conversation, because I'm not sure if anyone else on council has spoken to the owners, but I've spoken to the owners. And I hear what you're saying about they're not open at those days, but do you know that for certain that they're not open? Like, have you tried to go in? Okay, so.
Now, have I documented it, and no, I haven't. I mean, I would be happy to do that, but more than once have I walked down there and checked the door during the day just to see, Yes.
Well, I'm not sure about that because I have not been there and checked the doors.
I'm sure, and I can say that's only, that all that is circumstantial evidence, since I didn't document it, since I didn't, do those types of things. But I can tell you, I walked down there to the post office, there's no activity, nothing going on. And I have checked that door more than one time.
But yeah, I would like to, some type of way with staff to have a conversation with them to come to some type of resolution, because like I said, I spoke with them and they have concerns about the things that are going on. And per the owners, they have been trying to get police to come and, watch and see what's going on, because they don't want any incidents happening around their building. So I would recommend, before we do that, let's try to have some conversations with them to see if the solution.
As a
I'm
board-
sorry, let me go back. Did that happen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You just hit me.
Yeah.
I don't agree with, suspending your license at this time. I think that there needs to be a solution that comes into play with the owners, with the police. And that incident, Philip, I'm sorry, Councilman Boyle, that you spoke of, with the shooting, if I'm not mistaken, that had nothing to do with that restaurant. And if it was not for the employees and the owners of the restaurants, we wouldn't have known who to catch. So the restaurant, they had that shooting in this area. They called 911. They identified what the shooters looked like, and the arrest was able to happen because of that information.
I appreciate what you're saying, Councilman Mack. I will make this counter argument, and that being, this establishment is only open in the evenings occasionally, and certainly only open on the weekends, probably once or twice a month at most. And yet, despite being open only once or twice a month, they have an incident in June, July, September, November. It's a pattern with this establishment. If this was a Chili's or something that was open 7 days a week and, having one incident a month, you'd still wonder what's going on, but the vast majority of time, they wouldn't be getting in trouble. But it's just not open that much, and it seems like every time it's open, something goes wrong. So something is going, I don't know whether it's how they're marketing or whatever the case may be, but it is a public nuisance down there. Talk to the people who own businesses next door. The shell casings in the alley and vomit on their property, and it's.
Well, I wasn't invited to that meeting, so.
I was invited, and no one excluded you. You can go talk to the property owners.
What I'd like to state is that, I'm inclined to go with what the judge, indicated. We're not revoking their license, but I also do want to, have a conversation with them, because the safety of the individuals that live in that area, as well as, other business owners that are over there, I'm concerned about that as well. But just, after the judge has made a decision and we come back and just say, oh, no, we're gonna revoke your license anyways, they've gone through the proper channels, and the judge decided otherwise. So I'm inclined to go with the judge's decision, but also open it up for conversations with that particular business owner and the other business owners as well.
Well, I'm still going to make that motion. If it dies for lack of a second, then so be it.
Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion by council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I want to clarify, the remedies that you've mentioned to us, Kane, are available to us at any point in the future?
That's correct.
So if this dies right now and they have a conversation and then we're still having problems, once they open again, we could still.
Sure. There's no statute of limitations on that action because it's a charter overview action.
One more incident and they lose their license anyway.
That's correct. Under the penalty schedule as currently adopted by council, upon fourth violation within the 3-year look-back period, the recommended penalty is revocation of the license.
The interesting thing is the fourth level does say an extreme circumstance would also mean fourth violation could result. So I still stand by my motion to revoke this license.
Okay. Chief, if will, can you give us a little bit of insight about cost of service to this particular location?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. So we did a report for the administrative judge. That's the only reason I even know these numbers, but we had 44 calls there from January of 2020 to date, which was about in April when we prepared that. So some of those were like a lady had a seizure while waiting in line. But those 44 calls do not include like traffic stops made in the area, anything like that. So these were, as close as we could tell, directly related to the business in one way or another. 9 of those calls were firearms-related calls. 4 of those were shootings, including 1 incident where an individual was shot. So the history from what we've done to try to rectify some of that is we have charged the owner with violations of the alcohol ordinance in the past. She has been in front of the administrative judge previously. She's been fined for business practices. But again, we try to work with them. It doesn't appear to me that they're open very often. It doesn't appear to me that they are working as a restaurant. We asked the city clerk to do what the ordinance allows, which is to have them turn in bills or invoices that show that they're selling the correct amount of food to have a restaurant license. This is pretty significant in this area because they're not eligible to get a bar license because there's some of the prohibited neighborhood functions, like there's a DUI counseling center close by, and so the ordinance prohibits them from getting a bar license, so they have a restaurant license, which is allowed. We asked them to turn those receipts in. They didn't do it initially. They had to be prompted after the time had expired for them to do that. The documents that they did turn into the city clerk, which were presented to the administrative judge, in my personal opinion, were woefully inadequate to show that they were in fact selling any kind of food. However, that's not my call. That call went to the judge. The judge reviewed it, and he allowed them to keep their license after that. And so then incidents have continued, and then we once again asked for a revocation of their license based upon the most recent incident down there.
Okay, and so Chief, I'm gonna ask you a question that's kind of specific. When, do you know when this business opened up? What is the time frame of the 9 calls, starting the 9 firearm calls?
Those calls start from January of 2020, which is when we just ran the stats back to. I really don't know when they opened originally,
Okay.
or how far back that would
So
go.
between January 2020 and April of this year, they've had 9 firearms calls.
That's correct. And now some of those, like I can just think of one off the top of my head, somebody called and said that there were guys had left the business and were loading firearms in a parking lot. We showed up, couldn't find anybody. So we allowed that as a firearms-related call, but we didn't have any direct evidence of our own that actually occurred.
Okay.
But there were 4 shots fired?
That's correct.
Incidents and 1 actual person shot?
That's correct.
And can I ask a question, just maybe a general question, and this is your opinion, Chief, but from your experience, is it general practice for restaurants to need bouncers?
It's not.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief. All right, any further discussion by council?
I reiterate my motion.
Okay, is there a second to the motion? It's a long pause. All right,
And just remember this moment if something happens.
okay, so is there, am I gonna assume that there is no second?
Well, if something happened, they lose their license anyway, so problem solved.
Okay. All right. All right, is there any further discussion, any other business from council?
I just wanted to make a comment, please, Mayor. Just Mayor, looking at the fact that it's the end of May, we have an awful lot of folks graduating. People in the room may be graduating, but we also have children and grandchildren graduating, so we want to congratulate the graduates and all of their teachers and all the people that got them where they are. It's just a happy time of year to stop and remember that, something to celebrate as a community. So congratulations to all our graduates.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any further other business from council? Sorry. Okay. Yeah. I do have something that I do want to add to the conversation. It's kind of the piggyback off of what Councilmember Shavers stated. We had a very horrific incident that occurred at a grocery store in Buffalo, New York, where 13 people were shot. 10 people lost their lives because of the shooting. Over the course of the same weekend, we had another church shooting that was out in California. And it's been heavy on my spirit And I made a public statement via social media in regards to this, and I'll make that same statement now. The current state of politics in this country is a direct threat to our national security. Anyone that had any ill interest in America will only need to look at the infighting that we have in this country. And we start this meeting, we start our school days with a pledge of allegiance saying that we all are one. And the brilliance of this country is the fact that we are so diverse. And I think that recognizes a genius. And as long as we continue to infight over matters that we cannot control, whether it's our faith, whether it's the hue of our skin, or the person that we choose to love, our nation is going to continue to be vulnerable. And if we're going to be that nation that we are taught that we are in our history books, in our classrooms, if we're going to be that nation, then we got to put our big boy and big girl pants on and act like adults. Just because we may difference in opinion about a specific topic, that does not mean we have to demonize another American. It does not mean that that American is less human than anybody else. And ladies and gentlemen, all we need to do to rectify this is for the best of us to get off of the bench and not allow a comfortable climate for bigotry. This is on all of us. This is something that we must start in our homes, in our neighborhoods, in our cities. We must recognize that our future as Americans are uniquely woven together, just like grandmother's quilt. And what I want to say is that I hope that our city will strive to be better and not be a place where individuals can feel comfortable demonizing and belittling other individuals that call this community home. With that being said, we'll move down to city manager comments.
Mayor, members of council, I have one item I just want to bring to your attention. In the FYI packet, we gave you a community garden update. And first to say, staff is doing a great job in getting that ready. But I would like for us to, we will give you some dates. We think by mid-June that property will be ready. We need to have a ribbon cut and make a big to-do about that. And so y'all look at your calendars and whether we want to do it on a Saturday morning or something like that, when most folks would,
Yeah, they will love it. Yeah.
they would want to be there so that we can have a big celebration of that work that staff has been doing. And then we got community gardener, I'm not sure who that is. And just to, we have people anxious to get into the community garden, and so we did that.
That's good stuff. Thank you, Mr. Penny. All right, now we do have agenda item 15, public comments. Marcus 2 is on the agenda.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
Great.
I'm here mainly just to encourage you guys as you're going through your budget process, and I know that it is tight, and I totally get that, to put some funding into the land bank that so that it has operational funds. One of the, y'all know the city did not get the CHIP grant granted to y'all this time around. And part of the feedback was that you didn't have control over properties for doing the new home construction on it. Having the land bank together and functioning and able to manage properties, also having it funded so that it can acquire properties or at least begin the process would be go a long ways in resolving that that problem. And it's spending a little bit of money so that you can get more money. The other thing I will point out is that Habitat for Humanity of Bullitt County, it's come to our attention that we have an opportunity to apply for a $5 million grant for new house construction. And if we were to get that grant, it would be to acquire that much property, we would absolutely have to have the land bank functioning. And can you imagine what $5 million worth of new home construction in and around downtown would not just mean for the housing conditions around downtown, but also for the economic prosperity of the downtown business community, to infill and to bring up housing density and home ownership into the area of houses that would have, that would not, because of these restrictions, would not go into becoming investment rental properties. Anyway, I would think that this would be a very good investment for our community if we all to do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. All right, are there any further public comments?
Mr. Mayor, could I ask Mr. Penny to reflect back to us based on what he said about that, not right now, but let us know in the future some reaction to Marcus's comments about putting some money into that and the status of our land bank.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, we'll move down to agenda item 15, which is consideration of a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel matters, real estate, and potential litigation.
Yeah, there's more public comments.
Oh, yeah, come on up.
Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, I will move on. Go right ahead.
There's somebody else joining us. I'll make this brief. This is one of the fastest city council meetings ever. This is Christy Riker. She's a AVP at Ogeechee Technical College. I'm Scott Marchbanks, chairman of the board for the Boys and Girls Club. After discussion today, I wanted to speak and clarify a couple of things from you guys. When I think about the mayor, the first thing that comes to my mind is people over politics. I believed that 5 years ago, and I believe that today. I'm 100% behind the zone project for kids in this city, and I think it's something that needs to happen. What I think can accelerate that process, what I think can get services in front of kids faster, and what I think can gel everything and pull it together most expeditiously is if we partner together, the city and the Boys and Girls Club. On average, over the last 20 years, and this is important, we leverage our monies that are given to us, or our grant monies, by a factor of 8. So if we had $300,000 from the city, we could turn that into $2.4 million on average, based on what we've been able to do for the last 20 years. $175,000 is $1.4 million, because I know that's what's in the budget. The Boys and Girls Club is willing to share whatever type of oversight you want to have. We're ready to go with a program that we just conceptualized in January for workforce development, which is part of one of the objectives of the Zone Project. Since January, we have acquired over $250,000 in federal grant money to help us launch this program. But it's not enough. We need more. And not to call you out or not to put anybody on the spot, we are the lowest funded Boys and Girls Club from their municipality in the state of Georgia. Every other Boys and Girls Club receives more money from their city than we do. So we, over the course of the past 20 years, had to work harder to make sure that we have the funding we need to provide the services to our kids. We're the only ones that have certified teachers to bridge academic gaps. We just opened a teen center that we're going to use to launch the program that Christy's about to give you an overview for. We can be the springboard for the Zone Project. Yes, we have one location, but there's absolutely no reason we can't have 5 locations, one in each zone. We could be the hub in each zone. The $2.4 million that we could use or turn into from the $300,000 could build a shared use facility. As a municipality, I think it's also important for you guys to remember something. Federal agencies like SAMHSA, Social Youth and Mental Health Services Administration, OJJDP, those type of granting organizations, they're not going to give a municipality a grant. You have to have a 501c3. When you think of a youth development program in this town, we're the ones that have the track record. There are a lot of big egos in this room, and I'm going to put myself in that basket right along with the rest of them. But can we take kids and put them first and make people over politics, kids over politics? I don't care about anything else except making sure that we have the ability to utilize some alcohol tax money. You called it something that sounded better than alcohol earlier, I forgot what it was. But liquor store, whatever you want to call it, wherever the money comes from, I don't care. I'm telling you that if we are your partner and you give us the ability to take that money and increase it by a factor of 8, we can accelerate the zone project, get it off the ground faster, touch kids faster, and make a difference faster. And I'm asking you personally to consider that $175,000 to come to the Boys and Girls Club so we can do that, beginning with the workforce development project that we have with OTC, and then let's springboard it from there. And we can sit down and write that out any way you want to. It can be some type of shared oversight. We're open to all of those ideas, but if we want to touch more kids, this is the most expeditious and efficient way to do it, because we have the access to the grants. We have 9 federal grants at the moment. But yet we don't have money to replace an air conditioner because we have restricted funds with grants, as you know. And we've had 2 AC units go out this week. So we're hitting the streets, pounding the pavement, trying to raise funds so we can have kids that are in a cool space in an old building that we rent, that we're responsible for renovating. But if we turn 300,000 into 2.4 million, we have a shared space that's owned by the city and us or whoever. I don't care. Let's make it happen, but I'm asking for that money. And then we'll provide you the deliverables, whatever you want them to be, we can write them together. But I do want 30 seconds of rest, I'm sorry, Christy. The AVP at OTC to tell you this news about what we're doing for workforce development.
Yes, I will be brief. Good evening. My girls are waiting for me, so I won't be long-winded. But we have started the development of this program. We're going to launch a pilot program this fall semester. So really, we're trying to target our 8th grade population, who typically falls off of Boys and Girls Club involvement after the 8th grade. So really try to entice them in the 8th grade and have programming 8th through 12th grade. But all of that programming is really going to be centered around 3 areas. So it's going to be career exploration, exposing them to different programs within the college, different industry leaders within the community. We're going to have college readiness. So there's going to be a lot of working with OTC staff and faculty to make sure that they are prepared to go into college level courses. And then life skills, resume writing, career services, time management, all of those types of things as well. And that will be delivered both from Boys and Girls Club staff and the Ogeechee Technical College staff and faculty, with the goal of them really being exposed to more options that they might not have known about, to try to keep those students both engaged in the Boys and Girls Club, enrolled in their high school, make it through to graduation. The Boys and Girls Club have impressive percentages about if they continue to participate, they will graduate from high school. And so we want to just continue to increase that, but we've seen with COVID, the numbers of high school students involved in the Boys and Girls Club decline. So we want to use this as an enticement to get them back enrolled there. And then they would dual enroll their 11th and 12th grade year with OTC, still involved with Boys and Girls Club programming as well. And then we would guarantee, the promise of the program is we would guarantee that they could finish their program at no cost to the student. So many of the Boys and Girls Club enrollees are from a lower socioeconomic level. They may not be able to afford that, and so we want to be able for them to go and walk away with an associate degree at no cost to them.
Thank you.
And I wanted to introduce, if it's okay, we have board members here, just throw your hands up. And I know that we're gonna have a couple of more hearings maybe in June about the budget, so we're gonna make sure that you have access to us if you have any questions. And then Christy and I can answer any questions if you have any at the moment. And then one statistic I forgot, we need to change the fact that the high school graduation rate at Statesboro High School is 77.9%. It's very low. If you do the math, that's 100 kids a year that drop out of Statesboro High School.
What's the Boys and Girls Club graduation rate?
98%.
How many high school students do you serve?
At the moment, Mike, at the end of the year, we're down to 5. And that number has been significantly higher, and we want this
Yeah.
program to get them back in with us.
Okay,
Chrissy, that's like mostly because of the dilapidated facility and that, you know, it's suffered a fire, it's suffered.
And there was not a dedicated teen space, which there is now. So they were lumped in with all of the elementary and middle school students as
Yeah,
well.
that's not cool when
It's
you're
not
in high
cool.
school. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I do want to, I do want to make this comment. Y'all can have a seat.
Thank you.
I do want to make this comment. The Boys and Girls Club, I'm a huge supporter of them. I'm actually there every Sunday with my son, practicing for AAU basketball. But with that being said, as it relates to our young people, Statesboro and Bullock County, we are in a crisis as it relates to our young people. And we can add an additional 20 other nonprofits, 20 other nonprofits, and we wouldn't even begin to scratch the surface of the 14,474 kids that live in at-risk situations. So, Boys and Girls Club, we love you. We need what you to do. We need you to do what you do. But we need what this Children's Zone project is going to do. We're going to need for that to do that too. But that doesn't mean we don't partner and work to get funding and establish opportunities to continue to grow the Boys and Girls Club, see what other services we can contract for, all of those kind of things. But if we had 20 other nonprofit organizations, we still would be in a deficit. And the issue that we have in our community is that we simply don't have the infrastructure for youth in at-risk situations. We are decades behind other municipalities. I'll yield the floor to you when I'm finished. And so what we're talking about at the Georgia Municipal Association is actually municipalities getting involved in helping to save our youth. And the key things that they're discussing at the Georgia Municipal Association is literacy, is healthcare, is providing healthy neighborhoods. Many of the tenants that you read that's in the Children's Zone project, those are the exact same tenants that the Georgia Municipal Association. And the task that we should be taking on is we need to be not just coming to the city of Statesboro, but we need to be going to the Board of Education, we need to be going to county government, we need to be going to Lehman, we need to be going to everybody across the board, civic organizations, faith-based organizations. This is a all of us fight, and we need organizations to do different things. We don't need all of the organizations trying to do everybody doing the same thing. We need organizations doing different things because some kids are interested in science. Some kids are interested in sports. Some kids want to be involved in business. And so we need to have organizations that do different things, but we need to have a baseline organization that can support all of these entities and help work to bring them together. And that is what is essential for us to be able to do. Again, our city, we're decades behind. We're decades behind the 8 ball on this. So we need for the Boys and Girls Club to do what you do. We need YMCA. We need all of these organizations. And that's what the hope is with the Statesboro Children's Zone project. If you read the top of that document, we got more than a dozen potential collaborative partners. And that's what the whole goal is. And it has to be somebody's job. It has to be somebody's job that they get up every single day to work to bring all of those resources together. And that's not what's happening right now. So that's why it's so important. But we love you guys. We're going to do everything that we can do to support. I look forward to having that conversation. But I think it's extremely important for us to continue to recognize it's not an either or. It's everything that's on the plate. Because we got to save our kids. And Jonathan, let my record show 25 years of working with kids and being employed at the Boys and Girls Club, that when I was walking out of there sweaty and dusty from sweeping a warehouse floor, I did that for love, because I surely wasn't there for the pay. So let it be known, everybody up here supports the Boys and Girls Club. We want to work together. You got 6 people that's adamant about supporting you guys. So don't think that it's not. And what I am concerned about, and I will say it publicly, is that I'm afraid that it's been put out that some of us here don't support. We love the Boys and Girls Club, all 6 of us. And so we want to make sure that that's understood. We love you guys and we appreciate you guys. And I'm tired of Chase begging me to take me over there so he can go play basketball, so. But with that being said, we do have an executive session that we got to jump into. With that being said, Mr. Penny, what is the topic for personnel? Okay, we do have a personnel matter for that. So we'll jump into consideration of a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel matter in accordance to OCGA 50-14-3B. Is there a motion to go into executive session? Is there a second? All those in favor? All right.